Hello everybody and welcome to this day's Evesports EGL One 2020 main event. We are in the lower bracket final today. We've been battling it out for the past 7 weeks to reach this point. There are just 3 teams left in the competition. We started off with 16 and we are now down to ATK who are on the grand final, Goliath Gaming and DNMK who are going to be locking horns in this lower bracket final to determine who's going to secure themselves a spot in that grand final tomorrow against ATK. So absolutely everything to play for here in the 50,000 Rand event. Reese, it's been a flippin' awesome couple of weeks till we got to this point. How are you feeling about this game?
Hi, Matt. Yeah, dude, I'm beyond excited to see what the top 3 players or top 3 teams in South Africa are going to be doing as we close out this tournament. Like you say, we've got the lower bracket final today between DNMK and GG. Both of them coming through with quite strong performances, all things considered. Even though they were both knocked to the lower bracket, they came through with pretty much like 3-4 maps lost in total for the whole event. So they're definitely still firing on all cylinders, and there's been a couple of roster changes in the interim towards the start of this event, and DNMK had, you know, asterisks after asterisks on break. I think this is the strongest they've been at to this point from with all their changes and all those sort of things. So I'm looking forward to a power game here, dude.
Lots of storylines here as well as you've already touched on as well. So many things to look forward to, which we're going to be delving into in a couple of minutes. Let's actually just bring up the bracket quickly and have a look and see exactly how we've arrived at this point, how these teams have battled their way through their respective brackets and ended up in this position. So as you guys can see on your screen right now, I'm just going to talk our way through Goliath Gaming here. Had a good run in the upper bracket the entire way through until they finally came face to face with ATK, but comfortably beat the Nibble Aspiration. I believe it was Nibble, and then they played WG, which was a bit of touch and go. But of course, this team had made roster changes very recently prior to that match, so they're still working things out on this Goliath team. They went up against DNMK, which is the team they're playing today, of course, and they beat DNMK 2-0. But that game has a little bit of an asterisk next to it because for the first map, Inferno, DNMK were playing with BNY, their Valorant player ex-coach. So after that, Divo did join for the second map, but he had like literally just got back from holiday. So I don't really put too much stock in that game when we're going to be analyzing this one, because it was actually fairly close. And then Goliath came up against ATK, where they lost 2-0, not without putting up a fight though, Reese. They made it an entertaining game, and they did push ATK to get across the line there. So that's Goliath's path to this game.
Yeah, and then covering DNMK, as you say, they sort of breezed through the opening of their bracket. They faced RQ Gravity in the first round, then Royalty Esports, who they took down 2-0, and then we had DNMK versus Goliath, which they, like you said, lost 2-0. But from there, when their players sort of came back and the asterisks and limitations on them were removed, we did see them comfortably take down XD 2-0. And then they took on Energy, and Energy had been coming off the closest game that ATK has had in the tournament so far, with a 22-20, which is absolutely massive 42-round map, which we had on stream. Absolute thriller of a game as well. But they then did beat out Energy 2-1, and even though it was 2-1, the maps that they won felt pretty comfortable, and they were looking a lot more structured and back to sort of winning ways. And now they come up against Goliath in the lower bracket final once again, and I think it's an opportunity for revenge for them. But Goliath as well, like you say, they've had some really good performances, and especially with Udaro coming back into the squad, he put up like really good scores recently. So you're gonna have to see who's got the least asterisks next to their name ultimately.
And another really interesting storyline before we bring our guest in for today is we've got Dweezil playing against his former org in DNMK, and you got Kani playing against his former org in Goliath Gaming. He's, of course, on the DNMK side of things now. And both of these players are going to want to prove that they made the correct decision to switch across to the opposite team. So there's pride on the line here as well. Both of these teams have had time to work before this game, so they should both be feeling really comfortable. And I'm seriously looking forward to it. But as I said, we got some guests today. And our first guest is going to be Mr. God's Not Dead from Royalty. He's going to be giving us some of his insights. And there he is. Welcome, God's Not Dead, and thanks for joining us today.
Cool. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, making a bit of a habit of this. Got to interview you once before again, so we just want to chat to you a little bit now and get your thoughts on this game as sort of like an exterior perspective, somebody who plays against these guys and officials. You probably scrim against both of these teams regularly as well. First off the bat, what do you make of this game, DNMK versus Goliath?
I actually think it's going to be one of the more interesting games of the tournament. I think it's going to actually be super close. But I think it's going to favor Goliath today.
Okay, what makes you say that?
I feel like they're way better like all around. Like their map pool's a lot stronger. Because they can be like dominant on a lot more maps than DNMK.
Okay.
Also, I feel like the firepower is quite equal. On both sides, so I think experience comes and favors Goliath more, especially with Adam being the IGL. I mean, not the IGL, but like him having such a big role, you know?
Yeah. Reese?
No, for sure. Just to lead on from that is, which maps do you think DNMK would then, want to steer themselves towards that would give them better opportunities against the Goliath map pool?
This one's tough because I think that DNMK know that Goliath have a really strong map pool. So I think that they're going to try and aim for maybe a Vertigo. They've seemed to have been picking that a lot lately.
Yeah,
so
but they can't. Goliath permaban it, I think, now with Elusive. They permaban Vertigo because Elusive doesn't play the map, so that's not going to be an option for DNMK. What about a Dust? Do you think a Dust could be like a decent pick? I mean, I know Goliath have also been playing it, so maybe a bit of a middle ground there.
It is possible that they picked Dust, but I know that DNMK have only recently added it to their map pool.
Okay.
And Goliath have always played it, so
yeah, fair.
I actually have no clue what DNMK are thinking of picking, to be honest.
Okay, and let's talk a little bit about the teams individually now. First off, do you scrim against both Goliath and DNMK, or one or the other?
No, we scrim against both of them.
Okay, so since Goliath Gaming made the changes, of course, they brought Elusive into the team, and they've got Adaro, who's playing in the mix now as well. Massacre sort of in that 6th slot, and Dweezil's also come into the roster. What do you make of this Goliath team? I mean, throughout the most of 2020, they were playing with the same team and sort of seemed to reach their ceiling. We're never really able to break across and beat ATK, which is the famous storyline that's been out throughout 2020. Do you think that this Goliath team has got more potential than the previous?
I think they do. I think what they've tried to do, because obviously this is all my personal opinion.
Yeah, of course.
But I think that the old Goliath lineup had like a lot of firepower. That was their main focus. Whereas this Goliath lineup doesn't seem to have focused on firepower. So I think they're trying to bring in like individuals that can really make the best decision for themselves in the round. To get them through every single round of the game, because I feel like Elusive and Dweezil can think themselves properly through a round. Everyone can help win the game, not just everyone has to get 30 kills to win the game.
Oh, I like that a lot. So it's like different strengths and different focal points compared to the previous roster. Okay.
Well, on a side note, we do have the veto. It has been completed, and Dust 2 was actually the pick by Goliath, which is where we're going first. DNMK picked CT on that side, and then actually DNMK picked Inferno, and GG then picked CT as well. And then given the option of Train and Overpass, because the bans were Mirage, Vertigo, and Nuke. Vertigo first banned by GG. As you said, Matt, it's an instant ban off the back foot for them. So yeah, they did ban that out. DNMK steering away from Nuke is quite interesting for me, because they actually had a good game there quite recently. And then Mirage, I think, was a good decision as well from Goliath, because it's basically Dust 3, right? So Inferno, Dust 4 was then the only real pick for DNMK, and then finally they chose Train over Overpass.
Okay, so we got Dust 2 first map picked by Goliath, Inferno second map picked by DNMK, and then Train the third map picked by, of course, the third map. So God's Not Dead, now that you know the veto, what do you make of these picks? Dust, Inferno, Train.
I think that if DNMK want to do this, I think they have to do it in 2. I don't think that they'll win Overpass at all.
Oh no, sorry, Train is the third map.
Oh, Train. Okay, never mind.
Does that change your perspective a little bit?
Yeah, I think Train could go either way, because I know that Goliath don't play Train. Obviously I haven't played them in a while. So they could have added it, but I know that they didn't play Train a month
it's true,
back.
they didn't. Yeah.
So, and DNMK I think have played it quite a few times. Inferno, I think Dust 2 will easily favor Goliath. Inferno, it depends I think on how especially DNMK's players are playing. I feel like when their players are having like if their ideas are working and stuff, especially on their CT side, I think that the Inferno can be really strong. But if Goliath look to shutting down the individual plays made by DNMK, I think that they'll have no problem closing out Inferno as well.
Well, there we go. Guys, thank you so much for sharing your thoughts with us today, man. It's great to have you a part of the conversation and just contributing. It's awesome to get that inside information as well. So yeah, thanks a lot for joining us, man.
Cool. Thanks for having me, guys.
Awesome. Okay. So, Reese, just you and I once again. We've got our veto. We've got the arena set up for this fantastic lower bracket final between these two teams. I actually really like this map pool because I think both of these teams are going to be feeling comfortable on all three maps today, which is exactly what you want. It's not like we're going to have a blowout, and I'm completely expecting to go the distance today. I think we're definitely going to be having all three maps played out. I think these two teams are going to be giving it obviously their all, and it should be providing for some very entertaining Counter-Strike.
Definitely, and I think the first pick, the Dust 2 pick was a good move from Goliath. They actually bared their teeth against ATK the most. Their CT side was a little bit weak, all things considered, but the ATK attack, as we know, is pretty much the best in South Africa right now. So even being able to do that as much as they did, I think they probably tweaked and polished, which we saw them actually doing throughout the game. Towards the latter half of the CT side, they started to get a bit more aggressive, take a bit more early control on Cat and Long and these sort of areas, and it actually went extremely well for them. All from Dweezil did really good work on that map. So I think it's a good pick from just based on their recent history and what they would have learned quite recently for them. I like that for them. And similarly with DNMK, what we saw with them against Royalty, against actually GND, and them, they equally had that sort of learning phase, and you could see tweaks and ring rust kind of coming off as they were polishing up. So I think those two maps are almost guaranteed to go to like a 16-12, let's say 16-13. But I think that they should lock them out. Goliath should get Dust 2, and DNMK equally should be able to take Inferno. And like you say, we could be going to train.
I think that Goliath are very happy with tonight's map pool. I think maybe just like slightly more than DNMK. I know that DNMK, they don't mind playing Dust, but I'm not sure if it's like a popular feature in their map pool. Exactly as God's Not Dead was alluding to as well. So that's what I think that Goliath Gaming's two most comfortable maps right now might actually be Dust 2 and Inferno. So the fact that they've got those two maps to open up the series is going to bode really well for them. So if anyone's winning 2-0 today, I suspect it will be Goliath, but going to train, it's anybody's game. I actually really like the way that DNMK play train. They've got some strong individuals, so they can just sort of leave one player posted by himself in the B-bomb side, play with 4 players outside. And trains also on the CT side is quite a lot about winning your individual game, individual duels, right? Because you got one guy playing Ivy. If he loses his life, it sends the rest of the A-bomb side players into chaos. If the guy playing B doesn't get more than a kill, it's going to be really tough to retake. Maybe guys playing Pop Dog or pushing A main. So very individual battles going on around the map, so you need those individuals with the firepower. So I think that DNMK, I fully think this is like a as near 50-50 game as you get in South African Counter-Strike right now. Both these teams going to be feeling good. Probably DNMK have had a bit more time to work than this Goliath Gaming roster, which means that they might be feeling, or that they had less to do, even though they made the changes at a similar time. Because DNMK only changed one player, they had less work that they had to do to get up to the point they were before. So I think that DNMK, when you consider that, outside of the holidays and like players going away and stuff, they should be feeling more comfortable coming to this game. Whereas I think Goliath still feel like they have a lot to work on before they can really start to show their true potential. So yeah, I mean, some really interesting storylines going into this one. Another one is like Nexus, one of the up-and-coming IGLs in South African CSGO for DNMK, going against Elusive, like, one of the most illustrious players that we have in the community. So that's also going to be like a very different, unique individual battle going on.
No, for sure. It's like you say, there's so many things here. I like Carney going over to DNMK for the experience angle. You look at the roster and it's really the man who's got, and Nexus really, who've got like long-term sort of experience, and they've only had their comeuppance even in the last year and a half, 2 years. So, Carney, a player who's been around from before, like 2013, 2012 even. He was already in the top tiers of South African CS and has been tracking that along. all of that experience going over. And then equally on Goliath's side, I think Dweezil's a great pickup for them because he's a previous winner of Comic-Con Championship.
Yeah,
so
twice.
he's actually been to the top of the South African scene a number of times. So I like it. I think it's good changes for them, and considering their play styles, I think it was good kind of inter swapping, as it were.
Yeah, I agree. I think that the changes favor both of the teams. I think they're better off than they were before. I think they've got higher skill ceilings and more potential. So I agree with you. I think like both parties are actually better off with these changes. So we're going to be going live here any moment, guys. DNMK will be starting on the CT side of Dust 2. Goliath Gaming starting on the T side. And this is the lower bracket final, so it's all to play for. Give us a wave. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the channel. Good to have you guys here. Make sure you buckled in for the ride because it's going to be one heck of a ride, that's for sure. There's so much firepower on the server with these two teams. Contrasting playstyles as well, right? Which is something that's always interesting when you see two teams with different playstyles going head-to-head. When you have the likes of DNMK who are like heavily predicated off the individuals, sometimes just making plays for themselves and opening up space around the map. When you have players like the Man, players like Divo, even Heartbreak as well, Kani to a degree, they all like having some space and room to work with. And when they feel a certain play can work, they're going to be making that play. Whereas on the side with Goliath, under Elusive's guys, kind of feels like there's more structure there than they used to be. Sort of more regimented feel in that team. Everybody's making plays because it plays into the whole collective idea and direction that the team is taking in that round. Yes, there are still moments where ADM will be like, yeah, I'm feeling this, so I'm going to do this. He's in that lurking right now, so he's got the license to do that. You got Zips up on the opposite end of the map, so it's like they're moving around with a lot of 1-3-1s on their T side. And man, as I keep saying, couldn't be more keen to jump into this one. Going to be a heated fight and a lot of pride on the line as well. I mean, winner goes against ATK in the grand final tomorrow. Loser probably falls a step short than what their goal would have been. So there's going to be some heartbreak, and I'm not talking about the player by the end of this one.
100%, and it looks like we are live as we go into the first round.
Let's go.
We're going to see actually quite a lot of util coming out from DNMK. I quite like that for the CT side. They've got a kit and 3 flashes, a nade, and a smoke, and then equally on the side of Goliath, there's a number of flashes and smoke, and they're going to just push out longer, but Heartbreak is waiting for them on the angle. He gets Dweezil for free, and there's a man now pinned actually behind the green dumpster over there. He's a bit stuck, but he's got support pushing in from short. So it looks like it's going to be a play towards A for the opening pistol round.
Oh, clean shot from Kani as the Goliath start trudging their way forward onto this A side. It's just headshots aplenty for the USPs. Finally, blood is drawn for Goliath as they take down Kani, which secures the plant at the bare minimum, but still a 2 versus 4 here. So how on earth do Zipzip and the Elusive make this one work? They've been cooped up on the bomb side as well. Elusive is trying to get back towards shorts, and he will get one before he goes down, but that's all it's going to be. Now it's on Zipzip in the clutch. He's tapping heads with the Glock and taking these players down. It's only the man left. Up close, he's got the kit, but he's all by himself. He had players around him, and Zipzip is playing this to perfection right now, not giving him any direct fights, just trying to buy as much time as he possibly can. Oh my god, and the man is going to land the headshot to secure the round. What a pistol round to kick things off here in the Evesports EGL One 2020 main event lower bracket final. My god, DNMK get across the line, but only just.
Yeah, Zup and Elusive were looking actually quite put themselves in a good position considering they started off 2v4, but the man just relentless there, puts himself in a good position coming out of CT, manages to take down the supporting Elusive and starts things off with a bang.
Yeah, absolutely. Some clean shots there, some messy shots, but successful frags. We had it all in that round. And Goliath Gaming off the back of that plant, Reese. They're going straight back into the buy here. They got 3 AKs on Adaro, ADM, and Zipzip, and then Dweezil and Elusive tasked with dueling with the Desert Eagles. And actually, this is a good opportunity for Goliath to get on the board here. When you look at the weaponry that DNMK have, Heartbreak realizes probably should get out of there, but towards middle, Divo is doing the damage. One of the Deagles on the deck, but ADM's going for the trade. He's able to get one nice crossfire set up there by Goliath to make sure that they had both CT and the ramp from B covered. Because that's exactly what's going to happen. As soon as you take the fight with player in CT, the player coming down B ramp is going to trade you out. And Adaro was waiting for that. But ADM was not waiting for that flank to come through from Heartbreak. What a big brain play as well, because he got forced back and he still decides to regress. And Goliath just weren't anticipating that, so works out. Still though, there are 2 AKs in play here, Reese. These AKs have got potential as they got a bit of a free path onto the A bomb site.
And the man in pit that could pressure them is Heartbreak, but he's only got an MP9. Kani up close though, it could be their undoing. I don't know if they know about him. They do now after he jumps up to take a peek. They're going to try and push over the top to try and take him down. Side against it. Do Goliath. Nexus comes in, barreling in from the side though, and he gets himself 2k to clean it up. So they're actually going to come out of this round really nicely, all things considered. Getting the bomb plant is a nice consolation prize for GG, sure, but with 2 AKs handed over, make that 3. That's really nice for DNMK now.
Absolutely, I couldn't agree with you more, Reese. And they're going into an anti-eco round just so they can start to pad their economy even more and actually build a bit of a platform here on the CT side. Remember, this is Goliath Gaming's map pick, and we're in a lower bracket final right now. Which whenever you're in these high octane playoff matches, you really want to be the team to get off to a good start, just so everyone settles the nerves, everyone feels comfortable, and you can really focus on the occasion. So let's see how DNMK carry on here on the CT side. It's going to be the eco for Goliath in this round. A couple upgraded pistols to work with. Desert Eagles across the board, bar the P250 on Dweezil. He'll be saving up for the AWP, no doubt. And then the next gun round's really when the feast begins.
I like this positioning from GG though. Look how much map they've taken with relatively no util. They could turn this into a plant and that would just help their buyer that much more in the next round. But equally, I mean, look at the trough that DNMK have built. They've got a nice big open net and they're waiting to catch some unsuspecting fish. And it could be mid as Adario pushes through. He's going to get caught up. Heartbreak who fluffs the spray. Adario makes it out on 5 HP. Heartbreak takes some damage for his troubles. Now it looks like it's going to be towards B where the man is waiting. But there's a 6-shot that comes out and it sets up so nicely for them to go into the B bomb site. So they are going to get this bomb plant and ooh, Heartbreak not having it. He's definitely looking to close this round out at minimum. But they've already lost 2 players. Anything more, it's becoming quite expensive over here. So far, good work.
My God.
And a misplay from DNMK. They walk into each other's angles and get taken down. This could be converted, but that Kobe is going to be really nice. But it's not going to matter with ADM. He's too good.
Oh, the Desert Eagles, and it was body shots as well, Reese. I mean, yeah, there was a clean shot here or there, but Goliath Gaming seems like they took that one far too easily. DNMK just missing some shots, maybe a little bit preemptive on the retake there, not waiting for the extra player to come through, sort of just hastily trying to push themselves onto the bomb sites and force the issue. Such low HP on both of the Goliath Gaming players who were left in that 2v1. I thought, all right, it's okay, because Kai's still going to win the clutch, and he doesn't. That's a big let off and a big way for Goliath Gaming to get on the board here in this lower bracket final, because look at what that's done to the economy, Reese. DNMK have no choice but to save. Oh man, that's a big ball to drop in the early stages here.
Definitely, you don't want to be losing anti-ecos like that. You know, it's you were ahead. Oh, Dweezil with the AWP already starting to become a big pain for them. Davo's got himself a nice position here, top mid. He could get some damage and perhaps a bomb.
Oh
even.
no!
Oh, he's gonna miss this shot.
Neither the trigger discipline. Yeah. Now Goliath are just going to be charging their way towards the safe site. Need to be careful that they don't fall into the same trap that we saw DNMK fall into in the previous round. I'd like to see them playing a little bit more collectively, but Adaro actually times his mid push to perfection, and he takes down the B player as well. And look at the pause from Goliath. They get themselves long control, and then they see there's still so much time left on the clock, so they don't have to continue forcing the issue. They just put the brakes on and wait for some aggression to come through from DNMK. They punish all the plays, and then they pretty much win the round. So just goes to show in your anti-eco rounds, you don't always have to keep thinking about the long game and how you're going to get onto the sites and how you're going to secure the plants in the post. If you'd actually just sit back and post, you know the CTs are probably going to be looking to get aggressive, and you can punish that aggression. And that's exactly what Goliath Gaming did. So now it's the first proper gun round. Not even the proper gun round. I mean, 2 pharmacists, no AWP, barely any util, and the man's making a play towards low as Zadara is ready for it. And he shuts him down. So far from ideal start to the round here for DNMK, all things considered.
And a grouping stacking up towards B, and it's only the Nexus man on the angle. And help is a little bit far away. Daro is still towards CT spawn, so it's going to be a few seconds before he can help. And here comes the push out, and he's not going to be able to get the first kill. ADM just manages to get by on 20 HP, but it's enough for them to move on to this site and take control of it. And it's so hard to retake from here, especially with no util. B is an absolute nightmare. Even now that they've changed the doors, I would say probably the second hardest site to retake in all of CSGO right now.
After?
What was the other one we were discussing the other day?
Inferno B is very tough. Nuke B can be very tough. Pretty much all B bomb sites on the map. I mean, you've got Mirage. I think Mirage is fairly retakeable if you have apps control. There's a couple though. There's a couple. Always good to say like second best because then you really hedge your bets as well. Like no one can argue with you.
Yeah.
So,
there was one though.
I'm down
we
for that
actually
as well.
discussed it.
Okay.
I'll remember it later.
It'll come back to you. There we go. Yeah, you know when like the conversation's faded and we're not talking about it anymore, it's gonna be like that light bulb moment. Oh, big opportunity. If Kani goes down there, that would have been massive. But DNMK did still lose one of their 3 players who were trying to save their rifles. So that means that they're not going to be able to force up the buy in this round. And Goliath Gaming starting to look comfortable on this T side, Reese. You can just see they're shifting into their gear. They've got like a couple different defaults they're playing out now. The one with a couple players to upper dark and then just securing mid and long from defensive positions. And now they've got this long take as well. Adara with the spawn, he gets the AWP. And because he's locked down the angle, his teammates can just come through. I like this. You see, sort of playing this dependently. Like, what sort of results coming through? Does Adara get a pick and call more players? Then you use your util. Is he just holding the angle and there's no presence? We can just walk through. And they're just going to continue walking on towards the safe site. There's a couple players there. DNMK, they've caught wind of this nice and early. They've got 4 players in the vicinity. There's a flash through the smoke, and the man tapping away with the 5-7 brings 2 players down very low. And he's going to be frantically calling that through. They're low, they're low. Just land a couple shots. That's why Nexus is spamming through the smoke as well, hoping to just connect. But look at this. The low players, they've dropped back passively. I like this so much. They're sort of defending themselves. They want to try and keep as many players alive as they can. There's a couple rifles here, though. Both Heartbreak and Kani possessing these guns means that Goliath aren't home and dry just yet. And they're struggling to get across here. No, only have flashes left. Yes, there's going to be a smoke down into... Oh, it's actually a short smoke. I'm not sure if that was the play. Maybe trying to fake a bit of short presence, but Heartbreak, he can use the smoke to give himself an angle here as well, but he just gets overwhelmed. Again, nice display here from Goliath Gaming. Even when they're up against the wall, still able to engineer a way to get into the bomb site. Not just, all right, well, I guess we've got to take fights. Kani, though, in a 1v2 against fairly low players, will get taken down. So decent damage done by DNMK, all things considered.
Yeah, but after 4 in a row, I mean, even with that many players going down, they had 2 pretty clean rounds before that. So even with buys now, I mean, you've got ADM with 8,000, Elusive with 6K. And what's, I think, really important and so different for this GG game compared to the one that we saw last week is the fact that Adaru's started off extremely well, Elusive continuing his good form, and he's the IGL after all. He's not even really expected to have huge fragging power, but he's been such a playmaker for them. And to start off on this kind of form is just really, really good.
The mid.
They're going to take the mid control over here, and there is going to be a trade. And the man needs to be careful on the angle because Adaro is just too quick. And he manages to clean up 2. And that's a really nice setup for them. 4 versus 3. They're going to take that any day of the week.
Yeah, and look at what they've reacted off the back to find those 2 picks towards middle. They're making their way into the A site, and Zipzip, who's still all the way back in T-spawn, was waiting for that long push to come through. He knows that the long player is going to be compelled to make a play because he hasn't seen any presence for the whole round, and his team is being whittled down across the map. So Diver pushes through, he gets punished as well, and that should be the round over here for Goliath Gaming. What an awesome round this was from them. The power-hitting duo of ADM and Adara, we saw this in their game against ATK as well. They walked through mid doors, they set up the crossfire, and they just edged their way forward, each trusting one another to win their respective duels. Yes, ADM goes down, but he inflicts quite a lot of damage to the man, even though he loses his life. So Adara finds his pick on the player on CT, and then he just forces the issue on the man. And as soon as there's 2 kills come through for Goliath, that's like, all right, they've got every chance of winning this round right now. But they still don't even just rush into the bomb site. They still reassess the situation. They say, okay, because we've got a pick on B ramp and a pick in CT, the CTs are going to be compelled to shift their setup. And we saw they did. The player on A started pushing towards CT, the player long started pushing through, they punished those players, and they win the round. This is looking formidable from Goliath Gaming right now.
They even found Kanye, who was busy trying to jam the AWP over towards B, sick flashes in, and there's nothing he can do. He's just getting pressured by 4 players simultaneously. Like you say, Goliath is looking really good on the start of this. They've started off with a literal bang. I mean, look at their top 3 players, all with nearly 2 KD, all with really good ADR. Effective flashes are already 9 and 11 on Elusive and Zip. They're doing everything correctly. And it's like you say, that really nice crossfire setup that they put up there, working perfectly. I mean, what do you want from your entries is info and damage is ideal, right? And they not only get both of those, they get 2 kills, and it turns into quite an easy round win after that. And DNMK hugely on the back foot here, going into another save with decos and a scout. It's looking a bit rough.
Yeah, it certainly is. This could spiral out of control if DNMK don't start answering back with a couple rounds of their own here, Reese. This half could very quickly get out of their hands. And of course, this isn't the round we're expecting them to do too much in. Goliath have been clinical in their anti-ecos so far, and that's the case here once again. Found the first 3 kills without even dropping a single point of health. Make that the 4th as well. It's just Divo left. And yeah, he'll find sick flick shot onto Elusive as well. Surely that's all he's got in the tank though. He will get found out. At least a bit of kills come through for him and some damage is dealt, but there we go.
That's gonna be
yeah, that second dig was sexy onto Elusive. I think he probably tasted that through his monitor. It was so so disgusting. But this is the round, Reese. This is the big round right now for DNMK. Lose this round 7-2, no money, 8-2. The half is getting out of your control. But it's still not that far just yet, and we're going to be seeing a bit of attention towards long right now. Both Kani and Heartbreak tasked with trying to take control, but effective util usage has just forced them all the way back onto the bomb sites. And Goliath haven't even committed all their numbers. They've got ADM out the doors, posted on the blue container, and now the world is literally his oyster. And DNMK have no info. They don't know whether they're pushing up short or not, but Divo, by himself, seeks long control and comes out on top with a multi-kill. Yes, he's been traded, but he's done the damage. Kani's been spotted on the bomb side. ADM is just hoping to try and find this angle. Elusive, does he check the card? No. He tries to turn from the flashbang, and Heartbreak going to continue to force the issue. In the open, he gets ADM as well. So these are some really big kills coming through right now. And it's just the individual gunfights that have won DNMK this round. Divo by himself picks up 2 towards short. Heartbreak picks up 2 as well. And that should be the round over.
And it's just poor Dweezil left with the bomb, and DNMK wisely not giving him much to work with. Heartbreak's going to push up close here, and just on absolute perfect timing, he's going to peek out here and just meet an AK-47. Oh, Dweezil gets the shot though. Good reactions from him to take down Heartbreak. He's going to look to push long, but he's got some contention towards the site, and looking at their money, he can do it. If any damage he gets is actually beneficial for them in the economic game, so I'm not too against this. You can...
Oh, man.
Even finding one more would have been nice, but it's all right. He does give up double AWP setup to DNMK, which they'll take quite happily, but 2 of their players are going to be quite skimp. Starting off with 3,000, there's going to be someone with a little bit less util, and if they lose this round... So that's a problem is that they put themselves into with that 6 in a row that's been awarded over to GG. Is if they trip at any point here, they immediately lose the economic game.
Yeah, that's exactly it. So even though DNMK win a round, it's not like they're out of the woods, right? They have to string a couple together. You had to really mount a bit of a platform on the CT side and keep themselves in the hunt. Daro's got the, I don't know if it's on stream as well, he's got the Sonic profile picture, so maybe just trying to channel his inner Sonic here to give him a bit of extra firepower today. Sonic back on South African shores, of course, for a couple weeks as Clue zips burns out Heartbreak, and another kill comes through for Adaro as well, just sort of taking a timing peek towards middle, and he finds the kill on the man. It shouldn't be like that. It shouldn't be the T's finding these kills untraded on the mid player, because it just makes the CT sides that much more difficult. Look at what it's forced Nexus to do, completely relinquish control of the B bomb site. Kani dropped down into CT with the AWP as well, and it seems like this time Goliath Gaming, they are going to be trying to use the gap they've created towards middle. Last time we saw them double up back towards short. Nexus will find one, that's all it's going to be, but Kani able to get a kill as well as he finds a gap through the smoke. But these are just consolidation frags right now. I mean, Goliath have full control of the B bomb side. I don't even know if DNMK should be having a crack at this. They've got one flash between the 2 of them. And no easy kills coming their way. And on top of that, Goliath Gaming are already in favorable post-plant positions here on the bomb site. So this should be round over. Seems like they are going to be trying to make something happen. Kani taking some contact towards window, hoping Divo can activate off the back of that. He's going to make his way through, but he's not connecting on the shots quickly enough. The double peek comes through, and he does get taken down. Goliath Gaming straight back to winning ways here on the T side. That's the 7 wins in the past 8 rounds for Goliath.
Yeah, actually a little bit of a misplay there from DNMK1 to go for it like that. I think we're in agreement there. It was time to jam, especially to keep that AWP up. Would have been really nice to have in this round. And equally, Dava actually had Molly, and he could have mollied out back plat and dropped an angle that he would have had to take an engagement on or need to watch. So they could have done a little bit more, and it's probably at this point just a little bit of nerves getting to them as ADM starts to get damage as he just runs through B. And Dweezil equally and Adaro. It's just going to be a really quick cleanup. Only one player going down.
How clean have their anti-ecos been today, Reese?
Super clean. They're not overplaying their hand, which is really important. Like, they're not underestimating, and they're giving full respect. And that's why we're seeing an 8-3 half in the round that DNMK didn't give respect to the anti-eco they lost, and now it's just created all this momentum for GG.
Yeah, exactly. And now for the first time in the half, we're actually going to see the double AWP setup in play here for DNMK. Let's see if this is the setup they needed to really start dealing with this T side of Goliath Gaming. They're just mixing it up so nicely right now, being very difficult to read. We're going to see the late long play coming through right now. Heartbreak, he's been flashed off the angle, but he gets his vision back just in time. And Adaro, who's been so great on the entries today, actually goes without a kill this round. But Goliath Gaming have successfully taken long control. And because there's so much time left in the round here, this leaves them so many options. They can post one player and all leave and go back up short. They can try and B-split from here. They could commit to the long play. And DNMK not over-rotating right now because they've lost long control. They still have numbers towards middle. They've got a player on short. Nexus just watching B with the AWP. And DNMK waiting for a bit more info to come through before they make any commitments. That lurk smoke going to come through from ADM just to deny some more information. And they've got numbers in middle do right now, Goliath. They're going to have to start grouping up here and make a decision as to where they're going to be ending up. This is where the mid-round call becomes quintessential. And Zip finds Kani on the angle. He was in such a forward position. He had no chance of escaping. He doesn't hit the shot. And that gives Goliath free path onto the safe bomb site. Divo can't respond because of the fire. And again, it's an unfavorable situation DNMK find themselves in.
You cannot play one and dones against GG because their trading is just so on point right now. There's 3 CTs stuck in the ramp, all pretty much in the same position. As soon as they get found out, it's going to be just an absolute firing pin. And that's exactly what it is. Shooting fish in a barrel for Elusive. He comes out mid and just completely wipes the floor there with the 3 CTs, taking them to 9 for 3. And look at the scores. I mean, GG, every single player pretty much, except Dweezil with a little bit of a slow start. But what has he had to even do with his teammates fragging out like this?
That's the thing, right? Is like the teammates have been finding the entries and then they go into the bomb sites, and he hasn't really had to do that much so far in this half. 9-3, and lest we forget, DNMK won the first 2 rounds, right? So, I mean, that really paints for a dismal picture here when you look at DNMK's perspective. This is Goliath Gaming's map pick, of course, and we always talk about how the T side seems to be the side where most teams get majority of their rounds on this map in particular. So no need for chaos or for panic just yet in the DNMK camp. They have had a mighty load of eco rounds on this half, though. I will say that. Feels like this must be like their 4th eco round already in 13 rounds. So it just speaks volumes as well to the rounds that they've been losing. They haven't been able to save any weapons. They haven't been able to build up any residual economy. And on the flip side, you look at Goliath Gaming's perspective. They've got so much money in the bank right now. And again, they've made the perfect read. They're just sort of feeling things out in the anti-eco rounds. Getting people in position and then making decisions based off decent information. And right now that information is being found out towards long. And it's sort of Adaro and ADM are keeping some presence on the opposite side of the map just to create that space for the team. And there we go. Again, another successful anti-eco round for Goliath. Or is it? Is there maybe something more to be said? I don't think so.
I love this position from Adaro, baiting out that AK. He does manage to clean up the one in mid, but Bonnie and Davo start making a meal of things, and they actually get 2 apiece. Didn't see that happening, and now it's just Zip in a 1-on-2. He's going to get the first one for sure. He knows where the second one is, that Molly actually helping him out somewhat as far as the positioning goes, so he's going to retract all the way back with the AWP, and now Kani has to hit quite a shot, and he's going to be thinking he's in towards pit, and there's a good flash setup. It comes out from Zip to go 10-3. at least DNMK make it expensive, right? So they get that kind of consolation prize on an anti-eco. But
Yes.
with the momentum that Goliath have had, just look at their bank. It's
Doesn't make a
actually
difference.
ridiculous.
Yeah, I just want to talk about the way that ZipZip played that 1 versus 2. I actually really liked it. He knew that Diver was an elevator, and he decides, I'm going to force the issue on this guy. I'm not going to just try and wait and play time. He knows that the other player's further away on the map, so he gets aggressive, and you can see Diver was looking at the top of elevator towards the bomb side. He wasn't ready for that sort of a play to come through. And then the cool head to just pick up the AWP and go all the way back towards long. Nice touch there. And it seems like Goliath are going to be going for the B pop here. All useful raining in. Nexus completely blinded up. Does not stand a chance. Not even able to see his transgressive. The man, the first responder, gets in position. And he does see a player towards the box, but he can't do anything about it. Gap in the smoke, though, gives him another opportunity. And he will take down Adaro. That's the bomb carrier as well. But that's a little consolation right now. As ADM, he picks up a double with the rifle. And it's just going from bad to worse right now for DNMK on their CT side. Another full gun round that goes awry, and this half has completely gotten away from them. Just Heartbreak left in the clutch, and he's been hurt out here by ADM as well, so he's not going to be able to escape. Oh man, should have cued the Jaws music there from ADM's perspective.
Da-dum.
Yeah.
Da-dum. No, 100%, 11-3. This is massively dominant right now from GG, but they've got everything going for them. Everybody that normally should be firing on all cylinders is, and the other players that normally have a slow start aren't. This is the first time I've actually seen ZipZip on top of the board for GG, and he couldn't have done it at a better time.
Yeah. Just shows you how much they're coasting through this game right now, and cool for ZipZip to get some of the limelight as well. Of course, traditionally, the guy who's setting everybody up on the team and creating the space for the players to frag, but he's showing when he's required to. He's also fully capable of doing it. Dweezil takes down the man. He does double peek or peek into a double peek, but it doesn't even matter because even though he goes down, ADM cleans them both up. And that is the half done and dusted. If you blinked, you would have missed it. 12-3 in favor of Goliath Gaming here on their map pick on the T side. They just were an absolute class act throughout the entire half. Reese, even when they were getting ahead, they didn't let that get to them and start making like unnecessarily aggressive plays and changing the style that was winning them the rounds. They just kept on they're playing their defaults, and it worked out so well for them. So that was a really great half from Goliath.
And in those wins, they had only 4 rounds where they lost more than 2 players, which is just disgusting for the economic game. And that's such a big thing in this game, and it's one of the better ways to beat down the CTs. And Dario does catch one on the other side of the map as we go into the next pistol round. The DNMK really needs to win this.
He's charged top middle. He's already got them boxed in. Goliath already rotating all 5 players towards the same bomb site. How on earth did DNMK find these kills and secure control? Goliath are fully ready for this. There's no smoke for the cross either. And they just have to take these fights dry. Heartbreak's able to get one, but Adaro finds another. He's come through with the backstab. He's tapping away. It's a 3-piece in the round for Adaro. The man who started things off finishes things as well. And they're brimming with confidence right now. He makes the play into lowers, goes undetected, finds the kill, and as a result gets all the information in the world. My word, DNMK, that's surely the final nail in the coffin, Reese. They're going to save us. They get at least one full gun round, but 13-3 should be 14-3. Surely this is a map done and dusted.
There's a sneak into the lower, but he's been spotted out, so he's going to look to take some battles as ADM, and he gets 2, even though he's been spotted out. But the aggressive short push catches Adaro off guard. He gets put on 22 HP on the start of things, but Dweezil's in position to support, and he gets 1 and backs up Davo. Now it's just 2 DNMK players left, and they're not going to be able to do anything. Man. GG just so on point right now. Every time they take a fight, there's always a teammate in position to trade, and that's just so hard to play into right now as DNMK, and especially losing that pistol round. I was kind of surprised they didn't leave anybody in lurk, and you could see Adaro was expecting it, right? He was very tentative as he was coming through the long doors there, and it just seems like DNMK are getting ahead of themselves a little bit and overreacting, and GG's doing a very good job of taking advantage of that.
Oh man. The man had the angle on long, but efficient util usage forces him back, and he has to retract through the molly off the back of that. It looks like DNMK want to try and force the issue towards short, recognizing that Goliath had numbers towards long, but Dweezil buying some more time here, and that nade's going to do some decent damage as well. However, it is Heartbreak who finds the open kill, but 4 of the players here are tanked. tanked some util damage or a couple gunshots for DNMK. Oh my god, another nade comes through. It's softening up these players so much right now. And I love seeing the HE grenades towards short because it's something you can always bank on when you get the information, such a narrow choke point. But DNMK just grouping up right now and showing they still have fight left in them yet here on Dust 2. And look at the patience on display here as well. They're not pushing through the smoke. They're still waiting. They recognize that they're fairly low. This MP9 could catch them off. Divo's on the angle and does the damage. The question is, does ZipZip expect the man to be so close right now? Big kill here if he finds it, because that will be the bomb on the deck, and Zips gets the kill. My god, with the MP9, he's denying DNMK a round in which looked rightfully theirs. And now DNMK have to go back and collect the bomb. All in the meanwhile, Elusiv's been able to creep his way into the site, and he gets in position before they start crossing on short. He finds the first. It's just Carney left, and he barely has any health. He's going to go down as well. Oh, man. That is a massive let-off for DNMK. And they didn't really make any mistakes there either. You can't even really fault them. They get the kills. They still play passive. They hold control of short. They're holding the angles. And as soon as Divo shifts away, ZipZip peaks. That's so unlucky. The one thing I will say is, like, the two players still on short shouldn't have been the ones keeping the bomb.
No, for sure, they definitely played that one a bit into GG's hands. Were up 4-2. Needed to shove, like, look for a trade on someone and then push in the opposite direction. All things considered, was their best plan from there. But like I say, it just feels like they're not here mentally that much for the game. They haven't been fluffing shots all that much. There's been one or two, but just being outplayed continuously here by GG. They're going to look to go through mid on this last round, and you can't help but feel it's a little bit foolhardy considering the setup that GG have in position. ADM is going to have a lot of work to do here. And look, he started off with 2 dinks immediately. Man. And there's support from short to get the second kill, and they just carry on trying to aim battle him here through the doors.
Oh my god, what a...
Just get destroyed.
What a way to end the map. Just Goliath Gaming brimming with confidence and like, cool, we're just going to take every fight in the world right now. We're going to get in your faces. We're going to be throwing as many numbers at you as we can, and we're going to be evidently winning the round. I mean, Reese, was that warm-up, or are we really done with the first map of the lower bracket final?
That was a 32-minute map, Matt. That's
as quick as it gets. That's literally as quick as it gets in CS.
Pretty much. I think that's one of our faster ones. And a 16-3 to open things up from GG. If there's any doubts that they made some good roster changes and they've pitched up for the day with a very, very strong lineup, I think we can put those to bed right now. And as we go on to Inferno, I think we are going to be taking a short break here. I think we'll start with the giveaway as well, Mr. Matt. So if you want to kick that off.
Yeah, cool. Let's open things up. We've got a giveaway for today, guys. It's going to be a clutch mousepad courtesy of Evesports. You type the word EGL1 in chat without any spaces. You're going to enter yourself into the giveaway. Remember to spell the number out ONE, so it's EGL-ONE, no space. And you also get a second entry if you subscribe to the channel. So you want to get lucky, you want to get some extra numbers on your side, well, then hit that subscribe button. As I said, it's going to be a clutch mousepad we're giving away. That's going to be during the second map. We're going to announce the winner of that giveaway. So make sure you stick around for that, because if you're not sure when we announce your name, we're going to re-roll and give your prize to someone else. No one wants to see that, right? Giveaway is also only open to South African viewers, by the way. So make sure that you adhere to that term and condition. So, Reese, first map done and dusted. Dust 2 went the way of Goliath Gaming, emphatically so as well. They're taking a mountain load of confidence and momentum into the second map, Inferno. Are we going to be seeing DNMK fight back and keep themselves alive here in the Evesports EGL One main event? Or are Goliath going to be marching on to the grand final where they'll earn themselves a rematch against ATK? We're going to have to wait and find out, guys. We're going to be taking a 5-minute breather. When we return, we'll have Inferno. We'll see you then. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Evesports EGL One 2020 main event. We are in the middle of the lower bracket final right now between Goliath Gaming and DNMK. And if you're sort of just joining us because you had a shower before you joined, or you maybe were making your morning cup of coffee, well, you're going to be forgiven for having missed the first map, because it was just absolutely lights out blitzkrieg from Goliath Gaming. They won it 16-3. It was Dust 2. We're shifting into Inferno next. Reese, how on earth do DNMK get back from this one?
Well, mentally, that's going to be quite a shock, right? To go down 16-3, have nobody crack a 1 rating on your team. They've got a very, very slow start here. And inversely, Goliath's worst rating was a 1.31. Their best being a 1.84 from Mr. Zip Zip. He goes 19-4 with 6 2Ks and a 4K in the map. So huge rounds. I mean, from all of them, as you go down, ADM 21 for 9, Dweezil 18 for 10, Elusa 15 for 9. Every single player popping off right now in GG, and they, like we say, they all have that potential to do that. And to pitch up in this condition on the day is perfect for them. And inversely, like you say, DNMK, they've got a lot of ground to make up for here. Luckily for them, they are starting on, I would say, their preferred side over here, which is going to be the T. Actually, they're going to look to attack in and then chase, which I think is a bit of a better setup from them. GG's T side was on Dust 2 was just so dominant and so well played out. Like 12-3 at the end of the half was nothing short of miraculous.
Especially considering that DNMK won the first 2 rounds, right? So it's like they only won 1 more round in the rest of the half, which really speaks volumes to how dominant Goliath Gaming were once they got the rifles in their hands. Once we got into the thick of things and we started having the gun rounds, it was just like one-way traffic from there, to say the least. So yeah, amazing stuff from Goliath Gaming. But we need to remember, this is a best of 3. Means that DNMK, they're still alive, they still have hope behind them, and it's going to take the experienced heads right now to just keep everybody cool, calm, and collected and say, guys, you know, we lost the first map. That happens. It's not the first time in the world that a team have lost the first map and come back to win the series. So they need to just put that first map behind them, focus on Inferno. But what does become insurmountably more important right now is that they get up to a good start on Inferno, because psychologically they just got that previous map in the back of their minds. So if they go down 5-0, 6-0 here and they start falling behind the game again, that's going to be exponentially impacting their mental state. So really important here that DNMK get off on the right foot in Inferno. It's going to allow them to put the demons to bed and get that positivity back into the camp. Let's see if they're going to be able to achieve that.
Definitely, and I think it's nicer for them a little bit to actually get some time on the T side to get their attacking CS going. Inversely, you know, Goliath hasn't they only had 3 rounds with which to really play some defensive CT sided CS. So I think from that perspective, it favors DNMK somewhat, or gives them at least a little bit of a leg up there, because if we had to go right back into attacking CS on GG, there's almost no doubt in my mind that they would keep the momentum up going into Inferno.
Yeah, I agree. This map is certainly going to be a spectacle, and those T sides are definitely going to be coming into play. I think, if Goliath start on the T side, they could really just keep up with that momentum and just continue to pummel DNMK. But now DNMK are going to be on the T side. They can dictate the pace. They can control the game a little bit better, not really just like sitting back and allowing Goliath to come at them, right? So we're going to need the individuals to stand up for DNMK as well. Nobody was really popping off with the frags. I didn't see what the final count was there. Maybe you can check it. I know you normally have the numbers there. Yeah. But from what I remember, the DNMK players, nobody was really fragging to the best of their ability. And when you're in a game that's as important as the lower bracket final, everybody needs to be contributing. Everybody needs to be chipping in one way or another. And here we go into the second map here. Goliath Gaming on the CT side, DNMK on the T side. DNMK playing from behind. They really want to get themselves back into this and take us to train where they can keep their hopes and dreams alive. Or are they going to be eliminated in 3rd position? Where they were caught. Well, what's the play? Is it 6,000 rand if I remember correctly for 3rd place? I'll have to check that. Josh, post the numbers in chat there so everybody can see exactly. All right, we're getting a reset, so we're not live just yet. We can get an idea of what the prize pool distribution is, because it's 50,000 rand in total. A lot of money.
Yeah, I think it's 25k for first, 12.5 for second, and then 6.5 for third. So basically dropping their prize pool in half by coming third. It's quite a decent chunk of change in South Africa. I mean, that's a
Yeah.
nice water cooling upgrade, really high end. Like you can buy 1 TB NVMe with that or something. You know, it's a nice chunk to upgrade your PC or go away for a weekend or something to that
Yeah, for
effect.
sure.
You know, so it's
There we go. Numbers in
it could be a
chat.
nice one
Yeah,
for
so
them.
yeah, for
But
sure.
just
Reese,
sorry
if you
to answer
go
your
for it.
last question. Their best was 15 for 18 Davo in the last
Okay.
map on DNMK, and Shampoo Nexus with a 3 for 17 on that map. He had
Okay.
a really rough one.
He was playing B though, and like most of the time the team was losing the A site, so it's like you can't really expect him to get many kills in that department. I mean, I don't think Goliath Gaming actually they went B like maybe twice in the half, so it's always important to keep that in mind, just to
And it was ADM creeping through there constantly, who was had the most frags on the server. So it was that as well, that they had to face down against basically the best player on the server at that point in time.
Yeah, exactly. So let's go into the pistol round on Inferno. We progress. DNMK on the T side, they got themselves a smoke and 2 flashes. What sort of a pistol round do we have in store right now? Over on Goliath, also getting some information towards middle, just ADM, Jiggle peeking there, and he sees a decent amount of numbers pushing their way forward, so he, off the back of that information, is going to be repositioning himself. And I think DNMK might actually be wrapping onto the B-bomb site. No, they've got so much control right now, and all of the players are surrounding this A site, and there's only 2 players here from Goliath's perspective, and they're only able to find 1 kill between the 2 of them. So this is a great start to the pistol round for DNMK as Heartbreak finds 2 quick kills to solidify the round, and that's exactly the start that DNMK would have been hoping for.
And it's nearly perfect, is it? They only lose 1 player, get a bomb plant as well, so a much better start for them, all things considered. But now they, like we've said, they just need some momentum. They need to carry this through to at least get themselves 6 or 7 rounds in this half to have a chance of closing this map out. And look at this from GG. They rushed down. Nade though. Absolutely destroyed. The man with the 4K. Can he get the ace? Not quite. Elusive is going to take him down, but that should be the round 2 for them. And actually quite a nice bit of stat padding and money coming through for the man before the last bonus or the round win bonus comes through. So he got 2,800 USD for his travels.
Yeah, that's a quick bit of extra cash in his pocket for sure. Did you see the way that Adaro headbutted that grenade?
Yeah, dude, it literally
like caught it in his mouth.
Yeah,
yeah, that was quite a funny one. I reckon he probably just like let go of his keyboard and mouse when he saw the trajectory of that HE. All right, so DNMK with little trouble cleaning up that anti-eco round, and as you noted, some extra cash going the way of the man because he got those kills with the Mac 10, so he'll upgrade to the AK now. And actually, we're going to be seeing Goliath Gaming investing straight into the round into the half as early as they possibly can. 3rd round buy here for them means that they are going to have to subsidize the buy with a couple of FAMASs to allow a bit of extra util to be purchased. And they are going up against 2 Mac 10s here as well, so a good opportunity for Goliath to get on the board. But it is a bonus round for DNMK, which means that even if they lose this round, they still have enough money to buy up in the next round. So they got a little bit more freedom to play with than Goliath Gaming do right now. So again, we see Goliath just posting 3 players towards Banana in the early stages of the round, with only 2 players towards A. And when they secure some control and show a bit of presence, they then rotate back over towards A. And quite a heavy emphasis on mid control here from Goliath. You can see they've got 3 players postured around the site or around the mid area right now. And Adaro is by himself. His teammates have been utiled out of the areas that they were looking to try and support him from. He's able to get 1, and ZipZip actually trades him, so that's a favorable trade. But Elusive's going to go back on a bit of an explorative mission here. That was very ballsy from him. No further support on his ace. He does get a frag, and that kill sort of separates the 2 teams right now into the 2 versus 4. And if I'm Goliath Gaming, I'm splitting 2 players on each bomb site right now. I'm still just playing the odds. No need to try and make these gamble stacks happen. ADM by himself boosted up on family. Should be good for 1 from this position at least. Maybe that's why they're so comfortable just keeping only 1 player on B. Quick rotate from Dweezil as well. But if DNMK can find this frag on ADM without him getting 1, they could still win the round. But there we go. That's the kill that they needed. Just Diver left with 36 health. And they know he's there now as well. ADM swings out with the timing. And Goliath Gaming get on the board, Reese. And let's not forget this was the same way Dust 2 started, right? DNMK picked up the first 2 rounds and as soon as the weapons got in Goliath hands, the rest was history.
And they do it once again in emphatic fashion, dropping one whole player the whole round. Is really nice comeback from GG. But DNMK with that start, only losing 2 players, they have got another full buy, albeit with some Galils and a little bit of lighter util. But an AWP comes out onto Mr. Heartbreak, which I quite like. And Davo gets a good kill with the molly at the start of the round. They try to go through it, do GG, and it just is to their detriment, and Heartbreak making things that much harder by getting another kill. And now even with this top banana control,
look at Adam. Oh my god, Adam makes the play, pushes through the smoke, catches the timing on both of them. Nobody expected him to be pushing through aggressively like that. He may have just engineered a way for his team to get back into the round here. It all started so favorably for DNMK. That double kill molly, that shouldn't happen for Divo. Now they're pushing down Banana. Both of the players holding hands. The timing could work out perfectly here. Adam's going to come around the corner. He sees the back of Kani. He commits to the spray. And oh my god, he doesn't land the kill cleanly enough. It means that Nexus is able to respond. He picks up a double to secure the round. Oh man, okay. DNMK straight back to winning ways after losing the previous round.
And with that win, they're going to force GG into what should be a deco. And that round seesawed very quickly at 2v5.
Yeah.
And nice, really nice play there from ADM. I don't think he's going to get away with that too many times. Maybe have pulled that out just a little bit early. But he does do some damage. So there's 2 MAC-10s over on DNMK as we go into this next round. They do still have Heartbreak on the AWP though, which is really nice, holding T-Ram towards top mid. And a push in apps goes awry as Elusive and Adaro pick up 2 kills. And they put it into a 3v5 to start things off here.
Yeah. Awesome innovation. In the eco round, Goliath Gaming recognizing they have to make some sort of a play here. And they pick up the double kill, and they've got a MAC-10, but Divo, what a clean shot that was from him. There's a boost here from Dweezil, but there's the smoke comes through. Is the boost cleared? That's the question. Divo, again, gets the kill. Big round from him right now, sort of actually getting his team back into it, and Heartbreak, he's going to push all the way back into church. So it seems like DNMK, after losing those first 2 players, are still going to be getting across the line here in this all-important anti-eco round. I was kind of surprised that Goliath didn't immediately start rotating players across to the B-bomb side, because if you find those kills quickly enough in apartments, you sort of leave the T's with no option but to rotate back into the B-bomb side. So I would have liked to have seen them make the read. We got these 2 kills. Let's immediately rotate to the B-bomb side. They might have been able to get there a bit quicker and have a bit more of an impact, but wasn't the case. Guys, we currently have a giveaway running at the moment for a clutch mousepad courtesy of Evesports. If you type the keyword in chat EGL One, you're going to be entering yourself into the giveaway. Elusive trying to find a kill. He'll go down. So yeah, type the keyword in EGL-ONE, no spaces. Spell out the letter or the number, of course, ONE. And you'll enter yourself in. If you've entered once already, don't enter again, because that's going to be removing you from the entry list. And if you subscribe to the channel, you gain a second entry as well. We'll be announcing that winner sometime throughout this map. And for South African residents only, of course.
Now, as we go into round number 6, though,
we
set double AWP setup.
And both of the AWPs towards B. All right, Goliath. I'm not sure about that one, but that's why you guys are the players and I'm the caster, right?
I just one comment I have from last round as well is all the work that Heartbreak's getting done with this AWP. Just holding angles on Inferno with an AWP is so powerful, because it's so hard on a lot of them to get a clean shot. You can pixel peek it and get really good damage, shoot through walls. A lot of them are quite spammable on this map, so him starting things off really well, basically doubling up. I mean, the Nexus has actually almost doubled his score from the last map just in the first 5 rounds here.
Yeah, exactly. Going to be feeling a lot better about things from an individual perspective here, Reese. I completely agree. Everyone can just start focusing on this map now. I do like the setup from Goliath Gaming, though. Remember when we saw these 2 teams lock horns on Inferno during the upper bracket? It was a great T side from Goliath, but they seemed to stutter on the CT side a bit because they were being overly aggressive, right? And look at Zipsup with the AWP. What a second shot that is on Tukani, who was just biding his time, waiting for his opportunity in the apartments. And off the back of these 2 kills at DNMK, they have to try and re-explore this B bomb site. The man has made his way through archers. could catch Adaro if the timing is on his side, but Adaro with the Spidey sense checks him. However, the man still wins the gunfight, but in the meantime, Dweezil has stagnated this B exec. And ADM still alive in the bomb site, but not for much longer. I think he overplayed his hand there. He didn't really need to peek out, but Dweezil still alive and kicking is going to be solidifying the round for his team. Nice shot there onto Divo. It's the AWPs that find all the kills, Reese. You mentioned the double AWP setup at the start of this round. All 5 kills in the round were found by the 2 AWPs. Zip picks up the first 2. Dweezil picks up the next 3. And that's round over for Goliath. So just to finish off a point I was making, when these 2 teams played on Inferno a couple weeks back in the upper brackets, Goliath Gaming were ahead 11-4 at halftime after the T side. And they eventually won the map 16-12 because they were being overly aggressive and their CT side wasn't as polished as they would have liked. When they went back to just playing their double or passive hold on the CT side, sort of just sitting back in the bomb sites and waiting for DNMK to make the move, that's when they just won outright and they looked way more calm and comfortable. So I kind of want to see that side from Goliath from the beginning here. Just nice and passive, maybe show some early presence, take deep non-control every now and again, but in essence, not taking unnecessary fights towards top middle like we're seeing play out right now. But Zips are posted on the angle, you got Elusive up close and personal as well. And if that's not a statement from the IGL, I don't know what is. Zip's holding the angle, Elusive smokes it. He's like, you will not be taking that fight. And Zip's like, alright, well then I'm just going to go into your apartments. I'm going to find a kill there anyway as well. Oh man, Zip is feeling it today, man.
Definitely, that shot from last round onto Carney in apps was tasty to say the least. But Divo, he's equally feeling it now. His warm-up time is done and he keeps finding entries here towards the B bomb site. I just need to be careful of taking this angle continuously as they have been. And ADM, one of the better anchors in SACS, will probably hold it down quite handily as some support does rotate in. They don't have an AWP here though now, which is going to definitely hurt them somewhat. And Adaro doesn't know how close he is to actually finding some action, and he's going to re-rotate around. And there's no smoke towards CT just yet, and that now it comes through, and that's going to give away the push. So they're going to go into the bar area, and ADM towards second. Orange just gets one, Adaro gets another one as they push across, and it moves into a 2v3. GG is still slightly ahead here. Davo's quite low, and look at Elusive pushing in for the crunch from behind. Davo makes it in towards the bra area with the bomb. He can't plant just yet. He's got still Adaro to contest with. He's going to drop the smoke. But here comes Elusive at hyperspeed. He's going to sonic peek around the corner and he's going to get both.
I thought he might have overplayed his hand a little bit there and been way too aggressive, pushing up Banana like that. He actually gave the audio cues away, but he was quicker on the trigger than I think it was Divo, if I'm not mistaken. So still able to find the kills. But just have to question that positioning from Dweezil towards top Banana holding the AWP. I know that like as the AWP you want to try and find a pick and stagnate the push, but these are the types of plays that we saw them playing last time they were out against DNMK on this map, and it was costing them dearly. So I want to see them just going back to the more passive approach, and DNMK are going to be pushing up Banana super aggressively here. Did they catch both the players? No, ADM is the life insurance of Dweezil as he finds 2 kills before he gives up his life to keep his AWP alive. Man, that could have got dicey very quickly if ADM doesn't find those kills. And Adaro going to re-aggress off the back of a flashbang. He finds a double as well. Scores a level 4-4. And considering we know what a powerful T-side Goliath possess, it's really important DNMK do quite a bit of damage here on their T-side, in my opinion. I think they need at least like 8 rounds sort of thing to be competitive in this map.
Definitely, and they're already starting to lose some momentum here though, Matt. That's 3 pretty good rounds in a row. Only losing 5 players amongst the 3 rounds bodes well for the GG economy, which is starting to gain some momentum of its own. And that could be problematic as another kill comes from these AWPs holding angles, and that make that a second. It's just so good if you are good on the angle, then this is the result. Elusive takes the first damage, but he gets a whole kill for it. Losing 40 HP, it's not going to be the end of the world. And there's 2 Ts left, and they're going to push through mid, and they catch Dweezil off. He's stuck in a rock and a hard place. He's going to... Oh, it's actually... Sorry, Zip who gets taken down. The first AWP does go down, and there's some spam through the smoke onto Divo, who's going to take a little bit of damage. And already, there's Elusive in position. The pressure from GG just doesn't stop. And their momentum is just starting up here. They get 4 in a row.
Yeah. It's looking good for Goliath Gaming once again. All the individuals have pitched up. Everybody's fragging. Nobody's negative on the scoreboard besides Adara. He's 5 and 6. So, I mean, you can barely call that negative. He's got the 4 assists as well. That'll be his extra. Bro, don't call me out. I got 4 assists. These guys are stealing my kills. But on the side of
What's his
DNMK,
ADR?
Kani, let's see, what's his ADR? That's a good question.
He's actually 88.
The ADR doesn't lie, 88. So, yeah, I mean, that tells you quite a tale, right? You got ZipZip, who's got 47, and Dweezil 36, but they're both neutral. That'll be their claim. Anyway, we're pondering off a little bit there. Getting back into the game here, DNMK. This time it's Kani who's not fragging. He's 1 for 8 right now. He does play a bit more of a lurk role, and he's not getting any room to sort of play in that role right now, which makes his job very difficult. Might have to sort of evolve himself in this half and try and just become a bit of the core fragging group, recognize it's not working. We're going to be seeing this rush up once again from DNMK. They say last time we nearly caught them off. Maybe this time we can catch them off. And Dweezil, he misses his shot. He should have been backing off. He decides to try and take the fight. And now it's just ADM left on the bomb site by himself. He's going to get overwhelmed as well. So one of the better positions that DNMK have found themselves in. And it was just the eco for them to start things out. But ZipZip, he spotted the man playing behind the fountain. Oh, and Divo is going to take his head clean off. So all of a sudden, this is looking very doable right now for DNMK. And Elusive seems like he's making the call to save. He pressed tab. He saw the economic situation. Giving the respect to DNMK they deserve. And there we go. The eco round rush works out. Seems like it's a bit of a weak point here for Goliath, Reese, because now both times DNMK have pulled it out the bag. They've nearly won the round. So, I mean, something they're going to have to consider here.
Yeah, I think when they hear that noise coming up, Dweezil needs to retreat much further back. They're going to be light on util, so you can play emo or you can play towards coffins and just extend that angle, just making that AWP that much easier for you to land and harder for them to hit you. And I think they would have been better, especially with ADM constantly playing towards second oranges, which is nice for the rifle up close or his automatic, to get in that good damage. But if there's nobody holding your cross from the back of the site, you pretty much just die instantly. And your rotations in from CT also have variably very little to work with if you aren't in those longer positions.
Absolutely. At least Goliath do have enough money in the bank to muster up a buy, and that's why I really like the call from Elusive to make the save there, because so often we'll see teams like, nah, they're ecoing, let's go for it. But he's like, guys, if we just save these 2 weapons, we can full buy in the next round and just carry on from there. And the AWP in the hands of ZipZip continues to reign supreme. He's found a couple opening kills here on the CT side of Inferno, which has just allowed Goliath Gaming to always have that extra bit of a numerical advantage on their side. DNMK are going to try to force the issue towards top mid as they go through the smoke, but they push into a fantastic crossfire setup here by Goliath. My word, ADM and Elusive chiming in together, defending long as the T's push through helplessly. It's just Heartbreak left now. And this is a big response from Goliath. When you see teams winning the eco rounds we just saw DNMK win, that can often be the catalyst that a team needs to sort of, push on from there and really make a half of things, win a gun round, force the opposite team into a bit of an economic situation. But because Goliath Gaming just answer back with a round immediately after they lose the anti-eco, it's like, all right, boys, we're good. Everyone calms down again. And they're going to be feeling very comfortable right now. These double AWPs are doing big work. I say that, but they're actually on the bottom of the scoreboard. So, I mean, I think the work they're doing is a lot of the opening kills. So it seems like they're doing more than they are. And ZipZip, he can't run away from the Take 9 right up against him. He's going to be feeling the heat from the gun barrel, let alone the bullets as well. And because Heartbreak's got the AWP, oh my god, Elusive, you can't do that. The AWP had the angle, he pops up like a whack-a-mole, but the mole has just got a gun. It shouldn't be like that. ADM finds a double as well, and that's a heartbreaking round loss for DNMK.
Elusive just in here today, 14 and 4 to open things up, hitting absolutely everything. Just really, you can feel his time on the DM servers coming through here, and it's looking really, really good for them.
Yeah,
the damage that the AWPs are doing on the buy rounds actually, and that's where I would say it counts somewhat more.
That's true, Reese. Good point.
So the threat of them is also enough that it just sort of stays DNMK's hand somewhat. Dweezil getting caught out there by the man who boosts up over the smoke, however, is going to get them a nice opening dual advantage, and Kani actually catches out Adara towards Boiler, and this is the best position they've been in so far in the buy round, and Nexus makes it even better with another kill over towards Apps. And there's only 2 CTs, one per site left over. And this hold from DNMK just to gather themselves and collect the info is really nice. They should from here group up and hit a site together. They've got enough util to do so. 2 smokes, 5 flashes, and a nade is more than enough to take a site. So they've got everything they need. I do like this patience though. There's no reason for them to rush into anything foolhardy and throw away their advantage. So
yeah, this is
to close this one out.
Big patience on display right now, and discipline from DNMK, recognizing, hey, it's a 2v5. Goliath are probably going to try and do something to get back into this round, right? But both Elusive and ADM, they haven't touched W for the past 30 seconds either. So finally, because the round starts to tick down, DNMK have to make a play here. And Elusive is just waiting. He peeks around the corner, and he probably gets a bit more than he bargained for there. As he comes around, he checked that about 5 or 6 times while he was sitting in the cubby, and there was nobody. And in the 7th, there were 3 people all looking towards him. So, I mean, it just be like that sometimes. And a clean gun round from DNMK as they sort of punish Goliath Gaming a little bit. All 3 of the Goliath Gaming players who went down initially went down without any support. So, it's just, again, one of those things where DNMK win their individual gun battles and the round thereafter.
And a nice one for them just to break some of that momentum that Goliath have been bringing through. Their economic situation is still going to be perfectly fine for buys, and ADM with one of the AWPs is going to give them a 4,750 USD discount going into the next round. They need to be a bit more careful towards top B, do GG. They are getting caught out there, but equally on the other hand, DNMK catching them out there a number of times now and converting those to rounds. We do need to see them, I think, get an 8-7 on this half and the pistol round on the next to combat this massively problematic T side that is going to be coming out from GG in the next.
Yeah, that's very true. This T side has shown prominence time and time again. The lineup there, ADM commits to the spray down, nearly runs out of ammo. Oh no, the teammate! Oh no, Divo takes down his teammates. Oh, the man would have just been thanking his lucky stars that somehow he was able to survive that hail of bullets, but unfortunately, Divo said no, sir. And this, as you say, is a big round because also, if you look at Goliath Gaming's economic situation, if they lost this round, they don't have any money to buy up in the final round of the half, which means that we could have seen DNMK sort of going clear 8-7, which I think they would have been quite content with, all things considered. But now, there's every chance that Goliath win this round. Zips up on the angle once again. Will find the kill onto Heartbreak. And he drops the money to buy even more time. And Divo, like a moth to the flame, just tries to charge to the fire, but doesn't realize he doesn't have enough health to make that play. And look at Dweezil. Even though it's a 4 versus 2, they're still exploring the map and trying to take fights. Can cost you in the long run, but this time it pays off. And now it's just Kani left. Oh my god, okay, Kani just charging around the corner with the B-hops. He lands a 6 shot onto Zip Zip. I want to see Kani win this clutch, straight up. 1 versus 3 would be so typical of him as well. And he's going to see the play up close, but he jumps, so he can't land the no-scope. If he connected on that no-scope, he was destined to win the clutch. And there we go. We're seeing this double AWP setup working once again for Goliath. And one of the interesting things about Goliath's double AWP is they have like a second. It doesn't really, it depends on the map as to who the second part of the double AWP setup is. Dweezil's their core AWPer, and then Zip Zip will double AWP on Inferno. ADM will double AWP on Dust 2. On like a map like Train, I think Elusive does the job. So it's like very versatile in terms of who's picking up that second AWP.
For sure, and they have a lot of potential behind that, even with, you know, ADM can AWP, Elusive can AWP, so they've actually got like 4 AWPers in the team. Which is,
no, 5, bro. Daro used to be an AWPer as well, so it's like all 5 of these guys have been AWPers in their time. But it seems like we've got a scuffle going on towards Top Banana right now. As DNMK, they've got 3 players posted here, but because of the util usage, they just haven't been able to cross in towards Top Banana, and it's actually Goliath Gaming who sort of win that mini battle because of the util usage certainly does favor them. You see Diver brought down to 39, the man brought down to 51. Kani's within the 1-tap range for the M4s, so Goliath Gaming going to be happy with that. And after showing presence with 3 players, they now drop that 3rd player back towards the A site. There's a bit of a boost up going up. Elusive able to get above the smoke, catches the players off. That will give the info to DNMK that there were 2 players on that side, so they're trying to exploit that by quickly going up long here to wrap onto the bomb site. Big frag there from Divo, going to be allowing his teammates to start making their way forward. They know that he loses the mini pit as well, so his time is on a his life is on a time limit, and he does go down, but still, kills being found by Goliath elsewhere on the map means they do keep the 3 versus 3, the even numbers situation, to have a crack at this retake. 3 flashes actually, and a smoke here for Dweezil as well. They've got plenty util to work with, but Kani lands the shot with the Yorp, and this is DNMK's round from the taking from here. They got everybody set up, but Heartbreak shouldn't have been taking that fight, so he gives his life away, and Kani now being baited into it. Oh my god, that's beautiful by ADM. Divo's on the bomb side as well. ADM had his knife out. I think he thought they had won the round already, but there's still a player left. I love that bait and switch. Is so beautiful because they know ADM's already on short because he takes down Heartbreak. He just wants to take the attention. He wants to take the heat of Dweezil, so he keeps firing off the shots into the corner. It forces Kani to reposition himself and try and take the fight with ADM, and that's when Dweezil comes through and finds the kill. Oh man, that retake should never have gone the way of Goliath Gaming, but somehow they make it work. And I think that Heartbreak is probably the first person to blame there. Shouldn't have been taking the fight towards short from pit.
100%, and he gets one tapped immediately by ADM. As his shoulder comes out, ADM just hits a disgusting shot onto him to open things up for that retake, and they do convert it. Now GG on the pistol with a lead. If they take this round, it's very bad news for DNMK, and it's going to be quite uncontested into the mid area here, and GG looking around furiously, looking for players to shoot at, but nobody's at home until Divo pops up from a graveyard position, and he gets the first. He gets put on 1 HP for his time though, and he's going to get cleaned up, and they do clean up the players on the A bomb side, but there's already CTs in towards Apps. Nexus could get some damage here if he comes out of here at the right time, but Mr. Clue
oh my god,
by his name, he's got a big clue as to where they are, and they clean up the round. 4 players surviving. GG get the best pistol that they could have hoped for.
Yeah, what a perfect read, right? As you say, it couldn't have worked out better for them. They just charge with all 5 players up mid, they wrap around the archers, and they get onto the A sides, and still, they haven't fired off a single bullet. It's just like, where on earth are these CTs? Are they stacking 5 players on B? And finally, they realize that Divo's playing in graveyard. He lands a nice shot, but the problem with that position is, as soon as you get found out there, you're just like a dead man, because there's no way for you to try and take further fights after that without exposing yourself to the entirety of the bomb side. So good work by Adaro to force the issue and take him down. And you could see Goliath were cognizant the entire time they could have been a player in apartment. So Nexus isn't able to catch them off either. And it is just an amazing pistol round from Goliath. I just love the fluency. I love the aggression. No holds barred. And nobody baiting. You see, everybody holding W, everybody pushing forward as a unit, no one waiting to sort of try and play off their teammates. And they just overwhelm the A sites, and that is not the way that DNMK would have wanted to start this half, considering they're playing from behind. Their lives are on the line right now as well. Remember, guys, Goliath won the first map 16-3 if you're just joining us. It was just 2, and they had a lights-out T side, which has pretty much secured them the map. So coming into Inferno, it's a must-win affair for DNMK, and they're going to have to get it done with the rifles, because they're not getting anything in this eco. They got nothing in the pistol. And they're 5 rounds away from being eliminated from the Evesports EGL One 2020 main event, where they'll walk away with a cool 6,500 Rand, by the way. So, I mean, it's not like they don't get anything for their troubles. That's for sure. A pretty paycheck at the end of the day. But the winner of this goes into the grand final against ATK tomorrow, everybody. Grand final tomorrow, 12 o'clock. The game goes live. ATK versus the winner of this. Winner takes home 25,000 Rand. Loser of the final, 12,500 Rand. But into the gun round we go, Reese.
Yeah, and after the last, let me start again. In the last 12 rounds, DNMK won 2. So, a huge momentum boost over here for GG. A nice nade from Divo to open things up though. He gets some damage, and Heartbreak gets some of his own onto Adaro. And this is after a much better buy from them. They do have 2 pharmacists to supplement it, but it's proving to be enough. Divo gets another one over towards A, and GG just poking and prodding, looking for holes in the defense, get their heads ripped off for their troubles. It is a quasi buy from them, a number of Mac 10s and Galils in the mix, so they're not going to be feeling too bad about losing this, especially with the gap that they do have, and it should be cleaned up here by Kanye, and it is.
Okay, there we go.
They get a nice 4-man winning round at least into this one, 7-11.
Yeah, exactly. That was a really important round for DNMK to win the first gun round of the half. And they also do it pretty stylishly as well. They keep 4 players alive. Going to just give them a bit of extra money in the economy. And yeah, this is a good start to the gun rounds for DNMK. But they have to win this one as well, right? So that's the problem when you end up in these positions with must-win rounds. You never want to be in a map where you have to win a round, because it just adds to the amount of pressure that you have. And Dweezil is trying to find his way between the mollies. But unfortunately, he's not able to find a gap. And that means he's going to be burning down. ADM also been brought down fairly low by the Utils. So looking good for DNMK in the opening stages here of the 19th. And they want to go further. They're not just happy with the kill. They want to go further than that. And it's actually going to be costing them more than it gains them. And Goliath will know there's still another player in the B bomb side, because Nexus had the assist from the flashbangs, and that gives them the information there's still another player there, and they're even rotating Heartbreak in towards CT as well. So Goliath Gaming with an opportunity now to sort of take control of the A site, and you can see Adaro, he's worked his way out into shorts, and he's caught Divo off guard completely, and this has yielded full control of the A bomb site to Goliath Gaming. It's going to have to be a retake for DNMK. Oh man, this has spiraled out of control so quickly, and you have to question the decision of them to aggress down Banana after they had already found the opening kill. They didn't have to continue to force the issue. Oh, and that's the round done and dusted. Nexus left in the 1v3, has no choice but to save. He has to save so they can buy up in the next round if they're going to go for the buy. But as I say, Reese, very questionable decision to go for that Banana aggression.
Yeah, especially when they had the earlier round advantage. You've got 3 players in towards them. Maybe one looks for some damage. Carney gets a trade. When you're already ahead, you go 4-3. That's nice. You know, but then you have to sort of play passive after that. And I agree with you 100%. Them pushing in was definitely not the play. And it's especially when you're behind rounds. Nexus does get himself a nice consolation piece of damage, but with their money compared to GG, it's a bit of a zero-sum game for both teams. But where the economic, if you're losing the economic battle and you're winning rounds, then you're still winning the game at the end of the day.
Yeah. Oh man, okay. 12-7. Goliath Gaming continue to put the pressure here on DNMK. We're going to be seeing an eco round from DNMK, but how they would love to, if not get some damage here, maybe get across the line, right? I mean, this would be such a big round if they could win it. And the man is just jump spotting here, looking for some info before he lets go of the grenade. But ADM was edging his way forward, and he punishes the man before he can even let go of the HE. And Tiny playing in the smoke will be good for one, but that's all it's going to be. And off the back of that, Goliath Gaming got free reign into this B bomb site. There's a quick response from Heartbreak, but with the 5-7, I'm not sure you can even get much done in this position. Oh man. This is looking clean and clinical from Goliath Gaming, Reese. I must say, the prospect of a Goliath Gaming versus ATK Grand Final is certainly a mouth-watering one.
If Goliath are playing like this and they go up against ATK, I was just saying to Josh there in the break, like, if I'm ATK and I'm watching this, I'm suddenly sitting up in my chair a little bit. Until this point, the only real challenge they had was energy on Mirage. That was like a massive challenge. And even the 16-13 that they had against GG, it was close, but it sort of, some normality was restored towards the end of the map, right? And the momentum started to come online. But against this GG, this is a different beast that we're seeing here today.
Yeah. You hear that spray? You're still here. You're sitting up in your chair a bit more when you see Goliath playing in this level. As Reese says, you should be. Oh, whoa, Nexus. Padding the stats there with the quad kill in the round. It means that he is going to be inflicting a hefty amount of economic damage to Goliath, Reese. I mean, that's 3 AKs they have to rebuy once again. Rifles that they should have carried from the previous round.
Yeah, 100%. I'm a bit surprised they all went towards CT or all went on the exact same exit. Maybe they thought they could trade into it, but they peak one by one and Nexus takes them down. Good damage for him. Setting up DNMK's buy just that little bit better, and because of that, Adaru's stuck now on a Mac 10. He doesn't even have a Galil.
Yeah. Could come back to haunt them in the long run here if they lose this round. It's the eco, but this is a must-win round for DNMK, Reese. Lose it, it's 14-7, no eco, 15-7 map and match point for Goliath. That's just not a position they can afford to be in, considering they're still so far behind the game. And I love this decision from Goliath Gaming. They've taken banana control successfully with 4 players. No information has been displayed until Kani peeks the angle and he gets a kill. But there's still a gap in the smoke there, so job's not done just yet. Big frag there to just sort of stagnate this execute from Goliath. You can see they're a little bit more tentative right now. Not sure if they should be committing. They still have a Daro towards middle as well, keeping their options available. And it seems like they are going to be committing to this. ADM, the man to lead the charge into the bomb site, realizing it's actually completely clear right now. So the plant will be coming through at the bare minimum. And we've mentioned time and time again, this bomb site is notoriously difficult to retake. And in fact, there's still 2 players all on the A side, so they're going to have to take some time before the rotations come through. The man finds one, but Heartbreak catches Adara. That's such a big kill on the flank, man. Can't stress enough what a big kill that is. Adara was the key in the round for Goliath. Now it's just down to ADM and Dweezil. The double duo to try and deal the damage here to destroy DNMK. And Kani's going to crouch peek into the angle. ADM forcing the issue right now. Dweezil chimes in with one of his own. And they're getting it done from the most passive post-plant positions you can possibly have. Oh my god, and Nexus is timing out. Nexus is timing out, Reese. Or he's just super despondent. There we go, he times out. That is so unfortunate. That is so unlucky for DNMK. I didn't even realize that. I wasn't paying attention to the minimap anymore. Oh man, that is so damn unlucky. I really feel for DNMK. Yeah, I really feel for them. Because you can't just say like, one man wouldn't have made a difference there, because it would have changed the complete way they approached the retake in its entirety, knowing they had that extra player. So it's so tough to just say, oh, well, one player would know, because you can't even compare the two. That is really unlucky. Nexus does reconnect. Oh, man. 14-7. No money in the bank for DNMK. Do they force up? They do. And they don't want to be allowing Goliath Gaming to get to match points. And I think that's the correct decision, because when you're so far behind, might as well just, have a crack at it.
You don't want to leave them on match point and try and come back from that position. At least you've got one more round in which you can have a bit of a stumble. If you're up against match point for that length of time, it's just super nerve-wracking in of itself, right? Even when you go into a clutch, you 3v4, yes, you've won these before, but the ones that you've lost didn't result in you being removed from the tournament.
Yeah, exactly. Well, Reese, I think it's important that we announce the winner of the giveaway, because we might not be here for much longer. Exactly. So, guys, unfortunately, entries are now closed. We're giving away a clutch mousepad courtesy of Evesports. Nightbot, roll the giveaway. And let's see who's going to be taking home that lacquer mousepad. Ross Pelser. There we go. The man's been vouching for ADM in chat. So I think he's going to be quite happy. His mate is winning his match, and he's won a mousepad giveaway. So there we go. Hope I didn't butcher your surname, but I gave it the best shot. DNMK are going to be hoping they don't butcher this round. Look at the aggression. Oh my god, Dweezil. Just stop. These guys are already suffering. They're already hurting. You can't land shots like that through the smoke. It's just nothing going the way of DNMK this half right now, this entire match. And again, that seems to be the theme in the round.
And ADM's just making it so difficult for them. 24-11. He is going absolutely ham here on Inferno. And it couldn't have come at a worse time for DNMK. Everything just seems to be working against them. They're not out of it yet, though. They've still got 4 players alive. Make that 3 as Zip catches the lurk. There are more players towards the A bomb side, but they're peeking in dry. And Dweezil hits a disgusting shot into Bravo as he tries to push out and even BMs him. That's just not cricket.
It's not cricket, lad. Nexus hoping to smack this one for a 6, but it's just not going to be the case right now. He gets found out by Adaro. And that's 15-7. Goliath Gaming find themselves on map and match point. DNMK have only won 10 rounds in this entire match so far, Reese. This has been one-sided traffic. This has been absolutely dominant from Goliath. This is asserting themselves back on the scene. They've had a bit of a downtime after they made the roster changes, but you can see it's starting to take effect now. The synergy is starting to come together. The cohesion's there in the roster. Elusive starting to take effect. Adam is loving his bit more free-flowing role. Adara is reaching his previous side. Zip's fragging like a madman. Dweezil's asserting himself with York. And this Goliath Gaming team is making a name for themselves. 15-7, map and match point, 1 round away from getting themselves a spot in the grand final of Goliath Gaming. And to get across the line, they got to go up against 3 Max 7s and 2 Famuses. On any normal day, you would say that's a breeze for Goliath. At least 1 kill does come through for Heartbreak, and he trades up for an AK, and Kani towards top and on is able to get a kill with his molly as well. So there we go. Finally, something going DNMK's way.
And the jumping swags do the job, and Connie cleans up another one with his USP. The molly was nicely placed as well, made it really hard for ADM to fight into it. They're going to get some AKs on after this. So they're definitely showing some tenacity and fight here. Their backs up against the wall, letting the drops and poor luck get to them and put themselves in quite a good position here to win the round. They do have a nice crossfire setup here as well, so if Elusive looks to peek out of here, he's going to be moving into a world of hurt, and he's kind of aware that this will be the case, and he gets Davo. He sprays down towards the smoke, but he's not able to get it. Heartbreak takes him down. The man and Connie are quite low. Dweezil's on the AWP though, and I don't see him winning the clutch with that. If he trades up for an AK, perhaps. There's 2 players that can go down 1 shot, but he doesn't have time. There's only 13 seconds left in the clock.
He's saving. Okay, now, this isn't a moment I would advocate for saving on the T side. Because your team's going to be buying up in the next round, it means that you just slot straight in with your weapon and your armor, and it doesn't matter that you don't get any cash for losing the round. When I don't think it's a good idea to save your weapon on the T side is when you're going to be saving in the next round, because that essentially puts you 1 round behind the rest of your team, economically speaking. So, there we go. Just a small little anecdote from my perspective.
Oh, you're very on the money with that. The last round bonus as well, especially if you've got last round bonus accrued, right? And your kit is less value than that. Like if it's just a Mac 10 and armor, your kit's going to have a lower value than the money you're going to get anyway. Then you should definitely look for damage.
100%. Okay, so DNMK, they've picked themselves up off the floor with 1 round. But that's just the beginning. They have taken the first step on the mountain that needs to be scaled. And 7 proverbial steps left here. 7 consecutive rounds they need to string together to take this to overtime, to try win the map, to go to a 3rd. It's just like, when you look at the bigger picture, it's so overwhelming. Oh, excuse me. And that's why you can't look at the bigger picture. You have to just focus on on round by round. Can't look at the score, can't see how much work has to be done. Just focus on the round at hand. Take things 1 step at a time. And that's the only way that DNMK are going to be able to avoid getting overwhelmed by the situation. Kani probably shouldn't have re-peeked that. I actually think he was stuck by the half wall. He couldn't get out, so he gets taken down. And 2 versus 3 here. The man in position in time, trying to catch them on the cross. And he actually does a huge amount of damage to ADM. Dweezil can't connect on the shots either. So a lot of damage inflicted before the retake is going to be commencing here for DNMK. They've got 2 AKs and M4, no util, but they've got the kits, and they've done the damage. This should be more than winnable, and ADM, he does get caught on the angle. It's just Dweezil left in the 1 versus 2 now. And he's able to duck back in towards Church, but he takes the fight, and both of the players are lined up, so he's not going to be winning that. DNMK, still alive and kicking.
ADM helps him out there with a couple of missed shots on the AWP, all things considered. Yeah, it was good to swap out. I like that decision making. Definitely give the lower HP player the one and done gun, so it's a shot for a shot, effectively at that point. But DNMK just baring their teeth here, pushed up against the wall. They get themselves a 2 in a row, albeit a little bit costly. And they just can't afford to lose a round at all. And Goliath, with a decent amount of breathing room, 6 rounds to do it in as well. They can throw the kitchen sink at DNMK, and they've just got to kind of accept it to DNMK and see what they can do with it. And I like this B push. They've actually got in the bomb site, albeit with 1 player going down. They're going to get themselves a bomb plant here at minimum, so some nice money coming through.
Check ADM, he's edging, he's lurking, he wants to pounce, but he's not able to. Alright. I mean, job done here for Goliath. As you said, they've got the bomb plants. That's pretty much the only thing that matters right now. surely there's no ways that they can secure the post plants. I mean, they've been smoked off. They've got no rifles. They're nowhere elusive. He's getting pinched on. And there we go. Easy as you like. The retake comes to fruition. Adara pushes through the smoke, but there's just a couple people looking at him, so he didn't really have much of a chance there. What do you believe, Reese? Is it too early to ask? Do you have faith?
I don't want to jinx them, man. I'm trying to steer away from the conversation to not jinx them as they start to make this comeback. They do need to keep it clean, though. That was a nice start to that. 4 surviving in the round. Now the Man and Davo have a little bit of an economic situation building up on their banks. GG buy out their gain economic standpoint, but they're coming up on a 4-round loss bonus. And it means that the next round, sure, they'll be saving, but the round after that and the round after that, they're going to have buys. Connie starts things off now, which is exactly what DNMK need with a kill.
Yeah, certainly. Also just sort of denies the amounts of impetus that Goliath have towards Banana right now. Or Dara with the jiggle peak spots a player out. So, I mean, Goliath's seeming a little bit strapped for options in these past couple rounds. But Elusively says, no, don't worry. Dweezil just throw the support flash for me, top archers, and I'm going to be able to take the fight. And he wins out that gunfight against the AWPer as well. Really big. I'm sure Heartbreak had the AWP. He did, right? Yes, he did have the AWP. So the big fight for the rifle to win there. And because Elusive's gotten himself in such a forward position now, he's cut the defense in half. 2 players on the A-bomb side, 2 players on the B-bomb side, and they aren't able to assist each other right now. And if the timing is still there, he could actually catch Kani off as well. Seems like he wants to try and throw a bit of a fake towards the, say, bomb side before they commit to B. And you can see that's what he's trying to do right now, is just show a bit more presence, try and use his util to draw that extra player out of the bomb side. But from what I can tell, DNMK not shifting too much. The man on the opposite side of the smoke right now, waiting patiently, but he gets blinded up. He can't see the players, but they don't notice him either. He lurks his way back into the smoke, completely undetected. Now Kani's taking the heat off of him as well. He's able to come through the smoke. He catches Dweezil with the nade in his hand. And that was played to absolute perfection by the man. Great decision making by him. Great movement in the smoke as well. And that should be the round done and dusted. Elusive will go down to the no-scope 15-11 DNMK. Making Goliath work for this last round.
And so far, they're keeping their heads above water, if only just, as we go into round 27. 15-11 to GG. DNMK just cannot trip here. They need to keep this going. They get another nice clean round. 4 players going through on the after the bar is really nice for them. Nice little run boost to start things off here to get the man in position for early util towards Banana. And, there is some aggression and a missed shot from Kani. But it's not going to be too bad for them as ADM takes 60 damage from the mollies for his troubles. And it looks like it's going to be
a
nice train apps pop out of the top here. Let's see how they handle it, DNMK. And they handle it quite well, all things considered. Dweezil's the only one to get a kill so far as they do come out here. But ADM gets one, and that is going to be a bomb plant.
Yeah. This is a formidable duo, ADM and Dweezil. Good friends, good synergy, and good players, of course. ADM's been able to salvage a rifle, and Dweezil wants one as well. He's going to get thrown the M4. Still has that smoke to work with as cover. ADM wants to try force the issue here on the angle. He's going to put forward into his crosshair. He's able to get one, no, he's not. Dweezil actually gets the kill, and unfortunately, because he's in no man's land, he can't really do much thereafter. DNMK make it 15-12. We're going to have another full gun round here for Goliath Gaming, but this is getting tantalizingly close because DNMK, they can see the shore from here east. They can see the light at the end of the tunnel. 3 rounds left, and they pretty much completely reset the entire map and give themselves a chance to keep fighting here on Inferno into overtime. And look at the fragging, by the way. Everybody's picked up their game from DNMK. Everybody's contributing. Everybody's hitting their shots. And if only, it's tough to say, but if only this was happening sort of from the first 10 rounds, right? They wouldn't be so far behind the game before they started all clicking. So, yeah, tough ask. But Dweezil, look at this aggression, just charges up Banana. He catches Kani completely off guard. I love seeing this from the AWPer. This is what ZywOo loves to do because he knows he backs himself against anybody in any situation. And ADM trades his teammate out. His fallen comrade has gone down, but that's okay. And Adaro on the lurk gets a kill. Oh, it's happening, Reese. It seems like it is done and dusted. How on earth did DNMK make this one happen? Their retakes have been decent, but that's only when it's been anti-ecos or they've had the numerical advantage. And it gets even worse because Goliath have recognized the A bomb site's completely vacant, so they're shifting the bomb across to that part of the map as well. And Divo is split from his teammate over at B. His teammate goes down at A, and it's just going from bad to worse right now. Goliath Gaming about to secure themselves a spot in the grand final against ATK tomorrow. Unless Divo can pull off the unfathomable, the unthinkable. In fact, what should be deemed the impossible. He's being flanked out here by ADM. ADM spotted him, called the info through to his teammates. Just aimed it quickly at him. Don't do it. Don't you dare, Adam. Not like this. Surely not. All the teammates are hiding. They're trying to give Adam the... He can't get behind him. He goes for the double left. Adam! Not like this, lad. Oh, my word. What a way to close out the map. And Goliath Gaming have done it. They win the series 2-0, and they secure themselves a spot in the grand final.
Wow. Just wow. Goliath pitched up today with ill intent, and that intent was aimed directly at poor DNMK. They did seem to have quite a long warm-up period today, and to get onto the server and get into the game took them the better part of a map and a half. And you can't help but feel that they should have actually just slowed things down a little bit in D2 just to give themselves time to get their heads into the environment. But GG just relentless, giving them no quarter, and they get a very, very comfortable 2-0, all things considered.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, when you look at the final scoreline on Inferno, people would say, well, 16, was it like 16-12, I think? People would say that's not that comfortable, but it felt like Goliath were always just going to win the map at some point. I mean, they were like super far ahead for the most point. Like you said, it was like 15-7 at some stage or something. So yeah, that was a dominant performance from Goliath. They came, they pitched up, they showed what they're capable of, and they're turning some heads. So before we continue, guys, don't go anywhere because we got Elusive now, who we're going to be chatting to a little bit. So let's get him in here so we can hear his thoughts on the game. Of course, the EGL of Goliath Gaming. And there he is. Welcome, Elusive. First off, congratulations, the 2-0 win, emphatically as well. I mean, that looked relatively easily, dare I say.
Guys, by no means. I think we all just pitched up on the server today, and everyone was confident. The comms were there, and yeah, when guys are hitting shots and we can synergize with each other like that, then yeah, you can expect some good CS.
Yeah, I mean, let's start at the beginning. Let's go all the way back to the veto here in the lower bracket final. We had Dust 2, Inferno as the first two maps that pick. Of course, you guys picked Dust 2. They picked Inferno, and then Train was the third. I thought that this was actually a great map pool for you guys. From what I can tell, Dust 2 and Inferno are like your two strongest maps at the moment. How did you guys see the veto?
Well, we were kind of, obviously banking on picking Dust 2, but it got going to be our permaban. We were actually expecting them to pick Mirage or Train over Inferno necessarily, but yeah, ultimately that we still pitched up and played. So we were kind of ready for whatever map. So yeah.
Okay, Reese, any thoughts?
Well, yeah, I mean, between those two maps, you got to say, ADM as an RGL, I'd like to ask what it's like to have ADM as a individual or a pawn piece on your map to move around like that. He just seems so reliable. He went 1.65, 21 for 9 on the first one, and now a 27 for 17 with 7 assists as well, 1.4 rating. The dude's a monster, but like you said, everybody sort of pitched up simultaneously today, and even you as the RGL making plays on D2, and it's the second time we've actually seen that from you, especially with the ATK game that you guys had previously. And that leads me into my question is, what are you guys going to do differently from that game now that you've got ATK coming up in your future tomorrow?
I think ultimately the performance in general of everyone in the team kind of comes down to the type of CS that we're playing right now. I'm not really micromanaging anyone at the start of the round. We kind of just free flow doing our thing, and then a mid round call will come in. If need be. But some rounds we just kind of getting kills all over the place, so it's not always necessary. With regards to the ATK game, we're probably going to go and jam in the same style of CS. We were kind of out aiming them at a certain point there on Dust 2 in that game. They definitely had our number on Nuke though. I think we've got a better chance in a best of 5 map pool to not just end up playing 2 maps, obviously. But yeah, in general, I think we lost a lot of close rounds against ATK. A lot of 2v1s, 1v1s that went their way, especially anti-eco round. So I think if we convert those rounds on any other day, you know, the scoreline looks a lot differently, or looks a lot different. So I don't think we really need to try and anti-strat them per se. Like, I think we're just kind of focusing on our game and making sure that we're all having fun and jamming the way that we want to play, and then we'll see what happens from there.
Well,
So
congratulations on these two maps. Just
yeah,
as a closing idea from my
Thank you.
side, a 16-3 to open things up in a lower bracket final when, you know, there's been so many close games and stuff. Just absolutely stellar performance, mate.
Thank you.
So yeah, I got two more questions before we let you go, Elusive. The first one is Adaro's a player who you know, when you guys made the changes, you had Massacre had started in the team, and now Adaro's in the core 5 roster again. And it felt like to me he wasn't throughout 2019 performing at the full level everyone knows he's capable of. But in the past couple maps that he's been playing under you, it seems like he's really starting to find his footing again. A few words on him and sort of how you're seeing him as the player in your team right now.
Yeah, I think when I initially came into the squad, there was obviously like everyone that's played with me before. I like having a structured team. I like having everyone knowing exactly what they need to do. You know, knowing all the util and everything. And we kind of obviously grinded a lot of that at the start, but we, you know, decided to take a step back from that and maybe just synergize a bit more, and you know, rely on set strats later on if needed. You know, we were finding the teams were disrupting us a lot, so I feel like this new kind of style of CS just works better for a lot of the players, like you mentioned Adam earlier. You know, we don't have to control him. Same with Tyler. You know, he's playing his style of CS, he's doing what he wants to do. I think we've got a nice vibe in the team as well. Everyone's feeling confident, a lot of respect in the team. So
cool.
yeah, I think all of those just ultimately contribute to everyone just pitching up and being able to play the game.
Which actually leads me into my last question perfectly on the point you just made. How complete would you say you guys are right now? Like, I think you guys made the changes like 2 months ago, maybe, where you and Dweezil came into the team. So how far along the progress line do you think you are before you can really start feeling like you can give everything you've got to, you know, to going up against ATK, for example? Like, how far along the line do you think you are, like on a percentage basis, if you just had to give an estimate?
Probably about 40%.
Wow. Okay.
I think there's a ton of work we can still do. I mean, if you look at a team like ATK, obviously they're grinding a lot, they're putting in a lot of time. Their stuff's very well oiled. And we're not nearly at that level yet. We obviously just need to be putting in a lot more time, or at least be working on the right stuff. So
and time
for
together.
now, for now we weren't getting the results, trying to rely on the strat heavy side of things. So you know, when we've got some more time to practice and prepare for next year, we'll obviously put some more time into that. I mean, we're not anti-stratting any teams, we're not watching any demos, we're just kind of jamming and making sure that we're all happy and we're all on the same page. And then we'll go into the theory side of things and all the strats and make sure that we've got all of that down to a T. And then after that, it comes down to, you know, anti-stratting teams and looking at their demos and then going into games prepared, you know. So I mean, I think we can still do a lot of work. We just kind of feeling things out for now.
I mean, it makes perfect sense. Sounds like you guys are like building your foundation and your platform, and then from there you can start to add like extra layers on top. But you always have like your fundamentals and your foundation in place.
100%, yeah.
Okay, well, there we go. That's all from me. Reese, you also gave your final thoughts. You're all good to let the lad go enjoy the victory with his boys as well. Congratulations, Elusive. Thanks for sharing your thoughts. Always cool to get the insights. And have a great rest of your day. We'll see you again tomorrow, and maybe we'll be in this position again after the game tomorrow. We'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, hopefully. Cool. Thanks a lot, guys.
All right, cool. Cheers, Elusive. So that was Elusive, the captain and IGL of Goliath Gaming, coming and just giving us his thoughts on the match in general, the team in general, the individuals, actually sharing quite a lot of interesting information, Reese.
Definitely. I think his assessment is also quite accurate. If they're not anti-stratting or doing anything like that, and they're just focusing on themselves and their comfortability with each other through the honeymoon period, I think it's a really good way to approach it. And it's nice to know that there is potential in the future, that there are things that can be directly work on to gain massive improvements in your game. And with them having that standpoint and being where they are already, this could be quite casually a top 2 team in South Africa continuously.
There we go. Yeah, I agree with you. I think they got full potential. Got potential to maybe even go further than and push ATK. But Reese, that's all we have for today. So any final thoughts before we get off here and get going?
tomorrow's going to be a banger, I think.
Yes. Don't worry, I'm going to be hyping the crap out of that coming up now. So yeah.
I think DNMK, I feel a bit sorry for them just for the fact that they didn't really play their best game that we've seen out of them today. They're definitely going to be hurting somewhat after that. We saw more of it towards the end of Inferno. I would say mid-map, they sort of turned on. But by that point, it was already too late. Goliath had already taken a lot of their momentum away from them and had set themselves up in that really good position for that win. So yeah, the hearts go out to DNMK. Congratulations on the third place. Thank you for joining the tournament and coming through as an invitee and showing us why you deserve to be an invitee and in the top 4. Congratulations on your positioning, guys.
Couldn't agree more, Reese. So commiserations to DNMK. Congratulations to Goliath Gaming. They secured themselves a spot in the grand final. That's going to be tomorrow, guys. Sunday at 12 o'clock sharp in the afternoon. We're starting the best of 5 grand final. No map advantage for anybody. There is 25,000 Rand going to the way of first place. 12,500 Rand going to the way of second place. You're absolutely going to want to be there to join us. We also got some guests hopefully lined up to add their insights before the game goes live. Always nice to hear from other players as well. But that is all we have today. And just on top of that as well, we're going to be giving away a 250 Rand Steam voucher as well as an EveTech backpack tomorrow as well. So as I always say, if the CS isn't enough for you to be there, which surely it is, like the grand final between ATK and Goliath surely shall be enough. There's a little bit of extra sprinkle on top with that giveaway, so be sure to join us for that as well. But from today, that's all we got for you guys, and there's nothing else left to say besides boom, boom, you're dead now. And we'll be seeing you guys tomorrow at 12 o'clock sharp. Have a great rest of your Saturday. Keep well, keep safe, and we'll see you guys. Good day. Cheers.
Yoba.